It is my thought that most Americans nowadays either watch, play, or have played sports in their lifetime. I have played sports my entire life and will continue to play as long as I can. I have played many sports throughout my life, but only a few have given me the desire to continue to play them today. I'm going to inform you about three of my favorite sports to play and watch over the past 20 years of my life, which include basketball, baseball, and football. Out of the three sports that I've chosen, basketball is definitely my favorite sport to play. I fell in love with the game of basketball at a very young age. I began my sports career as a soccer player and played that every year until I was in fourth grade, when I decided to play a game with my hands and not my feet. The game of basketball has changed a little since it began as a competitive sport back in December of 1891. The game was created by a man by the name of Dr. James Naismith, who created a game for his physical education classes on a cold winter day to keep them entertained. He hung a peach basket 10 feet in the air on a wall and told students to shoot the ball in the basket to get a point. In this game, there was no bottom to the basket and there was no dribbling involved. No soccer ball was used. Peach baskets were not replaced with metal rims and backboards until 1906. The first official game of basketball was not played until January 1892 in Albany, New York, in one of its many YMCA gyms. For many years after this, a round leather ball was used until the 1950s when a new orange ball and the function of dribbling was introduced to the game that we have become to know as basketball. Today, basketball is played competitively on many levels, beginning at kids up to high school, college, NBA, and also internationally. Now that you know more about basketball, I'm going to inform you a little on the sport of baseball. When I hear someone say the word baseball, the word that pops up into my head every time is America's pastime. I played baseball my entire life until I graduated high school and came to college. It is very unclear to where and when the sport was created. Looking back in the past, there are many different games in many different countries that resemble the game of baseball. The first officially recorded game of baseball in the U.S. was not played until the summer of 1846, when the New York Knickerbockers were defeated by the New York Nine 23-1. Throughout the 1850s, in the state of New York, a baseball trend broke out, and 16 different teams popped up across the state. Today, there are more than 30 different teams spread across the U.S. that are separated into the National and American League. The National League is referred to as the granddaddy of them all, because it is one of just two leagues that have survived. Over the course of history, many leagues have made their attempt to become big in the game, but only these two have prevailed. At first, it was a white-only sport. It was not until later on in time that African Americans were allowed to have their own league and were later integrated. I could go on and on about the sport of baseball, but I want to talk a little about football. Just as the other two sports I mentioned, football is also one of the most popular sports to be played and watched in the U.S. Football is originally known by the name of soccer in other countries, but in America it is referred to as a sport that is played with pads, helmets, and a different ball. Also referred to as American football, this sport was evolved from the sport of rugby back in the day around 1869, when the first official game was played between two college teams, Princeton and Rutgers Universities. The man known as the father of American football, Mr. Walter Camp, drew up a set of rule changes in 1880 from the way the game had started originally. Football is also separated to different levels of play, such as pro, college, high school, and youth, and has developed quickly to the single most popular sport in the nation. The Super Bowl, the single most watched sporting event worldwide, is the championship of the NFL, or National Football League. I've never had the chance to play football competitively, but I played throughout my childhood with my friends in church. Even though my mom never allowed me to play, I still fell in love with the game and watch it more than any other sport. College is by far my favorite, and I regularly enjoy cheering on my Oklahoma State Cowboys during the season. Well, there it is. Hopefully, you have learned a little more about three of my favorite sports and also my fellow Americans. I continue to enjoy to play these sports whenever possible, and I believe that sports will continue to thrive in America as long as there are little kids growing up with the dreams of becoming a professional athlete.